pronouns. Welcome back to Realistness, your home away from home. I'm your host, Shanghai Pete, the People's Champion. Thank you so much for chilling with us tonight. And we begin with just a quick recap of only the dumbest shit. And let us start with Bethesda. You remember Bethesda, right? They're the developer keeping BioWare and Blizzard company at the bottom of that dumpster over there. Somehow, they've managed to preside over the complete self-destruction and collapse of their entire brand in the year since the release of Fallout 76. My disbelief over it is only tempered by the fact that, miraculously, two other formerly beloved developers also managed to do the same fucking thing to themselves at the same fucking time. Apparently, they weren't very thorough, though, and a small spark of life must have remained in Bethesda's rotting abused corpse, because this week, Todd Howard set out to finish the job by announcing a yearly subscription option for Fallout 76 that costs $99 fucking dollars. Seriously, one of the worst offers in gaming history. And it launched broken, because of course it did. Wow, Bethesda, just fucking wow. Now, I trust I don't need to go over the minutia of this. If you're here, you already know about all of it anyway. Suffice to say, the purpose of this is the same as that behind a season pass, World of Warcraft 6-month promotions, annual passes, or any other garbage like that. They want you to pay up front, so you have no recourse if they don't live up to their content release promises. Once they have your money for the year, they no longer have to worry about doing fuck all to the game. Miss a release date? Fuck off with the planned roadmap? Walk back a promised update? A patch goes live with game-breaking bugs? If you don't like it, go fuck yourself, idiot. They don't have to do shit. They've got your money already. What the fuck are you gonna do about it, bitch? Somehow, in what appears to be complete defiance of reality itself, Bethesda has managed to make themselves even more of a joke. I don't know what to say, that's quite an accomplishment, boys. It would be a lot funnier if you weren't the company responsible for Elder Scrolls 6. Anyway, I'm too depressed now to want to go over any more news from this week, so let's just move on. Our main story tonight actually concerns Blizzcon, the only commercial that charges you to watch it. As chance would have it, I'm actually going to Blizzcon this year. I'll leave the exact circumstances surrounding why I would ever spend money to go to what is essentially an advertisement for all the worst parts of the video game industry to your imagination, but suffice to say, it was not on purpose. However, I have been a big fan of Blizzard in the past, and in a long forgotten age, they did make games I enjoyed. So when I was given the opportunity to attend, my morbid curiosity got the best of me, and I accepted the invitation. And wow, as most of you are well aware, as it's turned out, what a fucking year to be experiencing this shit show in person. It's going to be a clusterfuck of epic proportions, and I can't wait. Now, even all the recent communist filleting Blizzard has been doing aside, let us not forget the kind of year they were having before that disaster. And it all started at last year's BlizzCon with the Diablo Immortal unveiling. Got worse later when they announced that they were laying off over 800 people while simultaneously bragging about record profits, and then it got even worse still when their push to make Heroes of the Storm more monetization friendly and competitive collapsed their user base, forcing them to cancel its esports league, costing even more jobs. Now, to be fair, they definitely earned themselves some goodwill with the success of the Classic launch, but I'm not really sure how much that helped, considering how in the hole they already were as a result of the disastrous battle for Azeroth. So, considering all that, and then add the absolute catastrophic ongoing results of the way they handled the whole Hong Kong Blitzchung situation, and you've got a delicious recipe for chaos, and ya boy is hungry. So tonight, we thought it'd be fun to go over our predictions for BlizzCon, what we'll see, what we won't, and what we want. Let's get the dumb shit I don't care about out of the way first. So that means Overwatch, Hearthstone, and Heroes of the Storm out. It's not that I don't think those games are good, it's just that they're irrelevant to me. I'm not interested in games that exist solely to be played competitively on the internet. I don't like my experience or enjoyment to be reliant on the behavior of random people. I play games for escapism and adventure. Obviously, I get that not everyone feels this way, and that for many, competitive games are the only thing they do play. That's cool, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit about any of that though, so fuck Hearthstone, fuck Overwatch, and fuck Heroes of the Storm. And while we're at it, fuck League of Legends too. We'll probably get another tokenized SJW avatar in Overwatch, complete with an obvious pandering backstory that's embarrassingly transparent in its desire to virtue signal to whatever communities Blizzard thinks will be vulnerable to it this month. Maybe they'll also add a 2 to the game title if they're really strapped for cash. Hearthstone will, I'm sure, get the basic standard maintenance package that it and most games like it usually get. Tragically uninspired and mathematically designed to produce the most possible return for the least amount of work. Honestly, I feel it's a little mean to even mention Heroes of the Storm, and Blizzard having a panel for it is just kind of rubbing it in. This game is in managed decline. It's on the back burner and heading to the toilet. For anyone out there that's actually a fan of this game still, I'm sorry, G. Okay, now on to the fun stuff. Oh, shit, maybe not. I forgot about StarCraft. Just like Blizzard. Seriously though, this franchise is stalled as a motherfucker. I have no idea what the hell they're doing with it, and I don't think they or anyone else do for that matter either. I did see one rumor about a possible StarCraft 3, but that's really unlikely in my opinion. After all, they did just cancel another game that was almost finished that was based in the StarCraft universe. A game I probably would have played the fuck out of too, sadly enough. So I don't think we're gonna see dick for StarCraft, sorry to say. I would be happy to be proven wrong though. Alright, now, all that dumb shit aside, what about Diablo? Well, the most likely scenario, Diablo Immortal is probably actually Diablo 4, and Blizzard is going to announce it's signed over the entire Diablo IP to the Chinese government. Real talk though, I'm sure we'll see a Diablo 4 announcement along with Diablo 2 remaster, and I expect them both to be playable on the floor. In all honesty though, I'm far more excited about Diablo 2 remaster than Diablo 4, and the reason for it is simple. I no longer trust current day Blizzard to produce a quality product. Why is that? Well, let's take a look at the last few games they've announced and released, and let's start with Overwatch in 2016. My previously mentioned distaste for this type of game aside, I think the universal consensus is that it was well designed and enjoyed. Fine, great. They gave us a modern Team Fortress clone filled with virtue signaling. Awesome. But what else did Overwatch give us? Oh, that's right. It catapulted the current loot box nightmare into mainstream acceptance. So thank you very much for that, Blizzard. What else did they put out recently? Battle for Azeroth, of course, okay. The most universally reviled World of Warcraft expansion since the last catastrophic horror show, Warlords of Draenor. Battle for Azeroth is in fact so bad that I quit raiding with my guild, a guild with people I've been playing with for over 10 years after only one tier. In fairness, they also released Classic WoW, which is fantastic, but let's be honest, all they had to do was not change anything, and even that took the constant supervision and oversight of a legion of fans and supporters to ensure they didn't fuck it up. Even all that aside though, it's not a new game. Think about that. Their biggest success over the last 3 years was a game from 15 years ago whose positive reception was predicated on the fact that they not alter it. And why? Because we're all terrified of what a 2019 Blizzard would have done to it. And besides, we all know that it was mostly a PR campaign to win back subscribers and goodwill anyway. Now, what are we forgetting? Oh, alright, Diablo Immortal. That's what happened the last time we were expecting a Diablo 4 announcement. How could I forget the game that kickstarted Blizzard's year of the dumpster fire? So, the last games Blizzard has released were instrumental in pushing loot box into mainstream acceptance, barely managed to live up to the expectations of a game from 2005, and saw them relinquishing the Diablo IP to a company that used it just to reskin a garbage mobile game intended only to appeal to the Chinese market. And of course, when they weren't shoveling that garbage out the door and down our throats, they were canceling a StarCraft FPS, abandoning a second Diablo 3 expansion, and botching a Switch port of their virtue signaling mascot game, all while shepherding the slow descent of World of Warcraft into a howling vortex of microtransactions and pay-to-win gameplay design. So forgive me if I think looking forward to Diablo 2 remaster, where all they have to do is upgrade the art and resolution, is a safer bet than any new game they might announce. Don't get it fucked up though, if they do unveil a Diablo 4 that miraculously looks awesome, I'm all about it. I want Blizzard to put out games that I want to play. Blizzard, I desperately want to be a fan of yours, but Jesus Christ, you are not giving me a lot of fucking reason to. Please, give me a reason. So, with that all said, let's move on to the final frontier here. World of Warcraft, a game that's gotten so bad they had to re-release a version of it from 2005 in order to convince people to play it again. Now, what the fuck are they gonna do with that? Kill it. I think they're gonna kill it. It's been over a decade, and if you need to release a version of your game that's 15 years old in order to get anyone to keep playing it, I can't really think of a more clear indication that you failed and it's time to move on. They quite literally gave up and went backwards. Don't get it twisted, I'm overjoyed that they did, but that's a rather intense signaling risk, don't you think? All that being said, we know that Blizzard no longer gives a fuck if people actually like their games, only if they're playing them and spending money. As we know, it's far cheaper and easier to make a game that people spend money on than it is to make a game people actually enjoy. So are people still playing retail World of Warcraft? Well, judging from the quality of content they release for it and the amount of transparent, quick money grab promotions they're shamelessly stuffing up everyone's asshole, my guess would be no, not really. However, we did learn long ago that Blizzard no longer measures WoW success on the number of active subscribers because, of course, now MAUs, microtransactions, and WoW token revenue have superseded that metric. So the real question is WoW still making the money? My guess would be yes, absolutely. But the more important question, especially for a company like Blizzard, and especially now, is it making them all of the money? And the answer to that is no. No, I don't think so. I think that the brand is ripe for far more exploitation than it is currently subject to, and exploit it is exactly what I think they're going to do. Everyone knows that we're going to see a new expansion announcement. That's hardly a secret. They're going to kick all the same shit out the door that they always do every 2 years. Another landmass, a few new zones, though the zone number seems to be getting suspiciously smaller with every expansion, and maybe another class if they're feeling especially generous. But make no mistake, this game has been in managed decline for a while, and they're going to double down on that this year. However, I also think they're going to announce World of Warcraft 2. Yep, I think WoW 2 is finally coming. And yes, I also think that a new expansion is coming as well. Is that a lot of work? Broadly speaking, yeah. But is it an unrealistic or an impossible amount of work for a company the size of Blizzard? No, hardly. Think about it. They can't let down their current audience by just saying, wait a few years and we'll drop WoW 2 and enjoy Battle for Azeroth till 2024. Hell no. They're gonna need at least one more X-Pack to wrap all this shit up anyway. Even with the WoW 2 announcement, people still would riot if Blizzard told them they had to deal with another 3 years or so of Battle for Azeroth. There's too much shit to wrap up and they need to tide people over. Especially when you consider that for most people, a new X-Pack is a foregone conclusion, it's expected. To not announce one would be a bad move, and they can't afford any more bad moves. Don't forget, Riot also basically just slapped him in the face with a glove and declared their intention to challenge their position, so they need to be on the offensive because of that too. Let's face it, the WoW brand is in the toilet. They need to reinvigorate it, and more importantly, they need to win people back. How do you do that? Well, sure, an expansion announcement will be nice, but that's not going to blow anyone away, no matter what it's about. And make no mistake, after the year they've had, and after last year's BlizzCon, they need to blow people away. And seriously, we all know BlizzCon may as well be called World of Warcraft Con. So if they're going to blow people away, it will most likely need to be with World of Warcraft. A new X-Pack is nice, Warcraft 3 Reforged is cool, but none of that will bring the house down. Fuck, I don't even think Diablo 4, even if it's awesome, will bring the house down. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, what about a new IP? And to that I would say, first, I don't give a shit about a new IP because as I stated earlier, I don't trust 2019 Blizzard to make a good game, let alone come up with a new IP that isn't an electronic billboard for virtue signaling. Secondly, as quote-unquote hype as a new IP might be, I don't think regardless of what it is, that it would be as big a deal from Blizzard as an announcement of a true sequel to World of Warcraft. Obviously, for the most part, I'm a fucking retard, so I could easily be wrong, but who knows? Maybe people would lose their fucking minds over a new IP more so than WoW 2, but I doubt it. As much as they may wish it weren't the case, I think to most, Blizzard is still the World of Warcraft company. Add to that all the absurd try-hard hype that all their employees have been spewing on Twitter and social media in the recent months, and I think we're practically guaranteed to see the most insane announcement in the past 10 years at this BlizzCon. And though you may disagree, I think that announcement can only be one thing: World of Warcraft 2. Now let's summarize. This is what we're expecting. Basic bitch, holding pattern, Hearthstone, Heroes of the Storm, StarCraft shit. Possibly Overwatch 2, though more likely just some new heroes or tacked on garbage. Definitely a Diablo 2 remaster. Definitely Diablo 4 announcement. Definitely a new X-Pack for retail World of Warcraft. And the big gamble here, but one we're gonna go with, is World of Warcraft 2 unveiled. Will we be right? Am I completely fucking retarded? Only time will tell. Who really knows though? The only thing we can be sure of is that whatever they announce, it will be what they've determined will make them the most money. And in the end, since we don't have access to their internal data, we can only guess at what that might be. Unfortunately, the only safe bet for real hype I can see is the Diablo 2 remaster. Anything else, regardless of how cool it sounds, will be subject to the whims of 2019 Blizzard. And as we discussed earlier, they can't be trusted. So, that's our show. This went on way longer than I expected, so I better shut the fuck up. Thanks so much for chilling with us. We love you today. We love you all the way. Don't forget to downvote this bitch, slander me in the comments below, and don't you dare fucking subscribe, because only in death does duty end.